Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also catch me at my Facebook page, True Divine, and it's The True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, follows, and particular comments, I really appreciate, and much love to everybody who's doing that thus far, and those who have been there from the start and have continued to be there. Much love to all of you. I appreciate you all so much. So this is part of the free content that I put out. It's the daily energy readings. I read energy, I work with energy, I also read and work with tarot. So I mix the two, combine the two, and bring the narrative to you. It's up to you to be discerning with any reader, including me, as to what, especially when it's general readings, as to be discerning as to what applies to you, what resonates with you, what gets you here rather than here. Try not to manipulate a reading that towards your insecurities here, because we can bring things into our life very easily via worrying, overthinking regarding that. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind. For the 13th of June 2020, this is the daily energy readings via tarot. So the first card is this Six of Wands, and this speaks to advancement, this speaks to movement forward, accomplishment, victory in areas. On the wider stage, we're seeing victories over all areas. Now the positive for me is that the energy that I'm feeling from everywhere around me is that of a positive energy, in that there is this underlying, there's layers, and there's this reality where there is this reality of people are ready to be positive, people are ready to move forward and just forget about these divisive things that pull us apart. And that is a strong energy. It needs to get stronger, but it's a strong energy. And then we have these layers of illusion on top, where people who think they're fighting for a cause, but they're just fighting the triggers. They're fighting the trigger points without doing the inner work, and they're causing some division here. And then we have what I feel is going on at the very top, is that we have this war of these two sides, more than two, but different components within each side, that are really going at it, that are really trying to put their input into the collective. So at the minute we are at the bottom, but by no means at the bottom because of the amount of energy that these positive people, including me, including you, are putting out there. It's just that we're fighting against, or moving against, rather than fighting against a matrix that is being built up deliberately to cause division, to cause divisiveness. And so we're seeing the headlines, the mainstream media is still a part of it, a huge part of it, the tabloids, the various videos that are even, old videos, but being applied to today's antics. We're seeing real videos that are bringing us apart. We're seeing all of those things. So it is difficult to keep that level of positivity and to stop the mind F, because it does F with the mind, in that it does. It's hard when you're seeing something on a screen that, even if you've done the research or you know that it's a lie, it's very hard to not take it on board, to not let it absorb in. So it's important that we take dominion over ourselves. And when we're feeling like we can't really be discerning, we can't really see through the headlines, we can't stop it from absorbing into us, because it's important that we stay up to date with what's going on. We cannot be complacent any longer. But when we feel we're having one of those days, it's important for us to be discerning and take ourselves away from those things that would bring us down, that would make us that would F with the mind, basically, that would make us feel and see a reality that isn't what is a true representation of the people, the main people, the majority of the people. And I truly know that, I feel that, I see that, that's my knowing. So there's this advancement forward in the numbers that are congregating around this more positive frequency, this more togetherness, this more connected frequency. There's a real movement forward in people recognizing, when they see certain things on mainstream media or social media, that it is deliberately there. It may be a section of people with the same coloured skin that is different to yours. There might be something where they're ripping apart monuments and things like that. And it's the discernment to know that these people have been triggered. These people haven't done the inner work. These people have had a void within them that has been filled by the very tricks and traits that those above have set up for them to fall into. So to be discerning and to not see that as a representation of humanity, of the majority of numbers of people in this world. We're seeing a very small, very precise thing. As far as the advancement goes on this top layer, where these opposing forces are trying to get vie in and take place, we are seeing advancement on both sides. We're seeing contradictory advice, but I really do feel there is this positive force, even at this top layer, that is moving within and having to be very strategic, very stealthy as to how they bring this movement in. Still with their own agendas, but it's up to us to play chess with them. It's up to us to be strategic also. It's up to us to be slightly detached from our emotions right now, in that our inner emotions, our core emotions are good, but the emotions that we've been controlled and manipulated to have are reactionary on the whole. The real core emotions of love, fear, pain, suffering is very different, I feel, to the kind of emotions people are expressing in this middle layer, this where they're feeling they're triggered. That is a cry for help almost to me. So, it's for those people to come and do the inner work, and it's for us to hold space and time for them to eventually come and do so. And of course, if they don't, then we have to make advancement on our positivity, on how we move strategically through this to combat this middle layer that is doing the work for the top layer, literally carrying out the contracts for the top layer, unpaid, and solicited very much so via triggers, but unpaid actors that are doing the job without even knowing they're doing a job and doing a role for this top layer. So in our personal lives, you might find that today the energies are supporting you in this advancement, and leading up to this day, you've had advancement in, against all odds, work of some kind, or finding a passion and learning about it, researching about it, because there's time on your hands. But there's a certain advancement within people, and there is a huge advancement within spiritual health, within wholeness. People are seeking wholeness. The ones that are feeding into this positivity layer, that they're seeking the wholeness, they're seeking the answers that are held within. They're reaching out to the universe, and the universe is responding back. So it is good. A lot of people, against all odds, are making huge advancements, having possibilities where they might not have had them before, while we were all before this reset, before this pause on the world, where you might be finding that you can buy into things because it's available, or somebody doesn't want to continue the risk of carrying it on, and you're getting it for a really good price, and it's something that feeds your fire, it's something that feeds your passion, it's something that you love doing. So if that's the case, go for it. Why not? This is your life path, this is your experience. Moving with this will make you fired up, and it'll be, if you're fired up about something, if you're passionate about something, then it's going to be good. It's going to be a good experience, of course, with ups and downs, but there's a victory within this. So negotiate if you're in that position. Of course, always be fair in business, love, and war. The fairness is that, make sure you're given a fair price. Let that karma be brought back to you, with you having the whatever it is that is going to advance your passions in your grasp. Whatever it is, feed in that good energy of fairness within your negotiations for whatever you want to be buying into or moving forward with. So it does speak to this these levels of victory. The only people who aren't having much victory is the middle layer, that are just being triggered and emotionally reactionary, they're emotionally imbalanced. So they're the only people that right now aren't having much success. Even the top layer is having success. It's moving back and forth. They're playing chess right now at the moment. So the second card speaks to this Earth Queen, this Queen of Pentacles, but she's in reverse. Now, this Queen of Pentacles in reverse is pretty badass in that she is very imbalanced. And it speaks to, she's earth, she's ground, she's land, she's people. And so we see her in that middle layer of people. We see her in that she is she's very imbalanced, and a family is imbalanced. So on the wider stage, we are a big family, whether we like it or not. And we do have this middle section that is super imbalanced. We have this top section, which is super imbalanced. But right now, focusing on this middle section, it does cause us to be disturbed by the kind of behaviors that we're seeing. If you're thinking of yourself as this mother, as this Queen of Pentacles mother, looking at these children that are just being triggered and reactionary and having very dangerous, very reckless tantrums. And so it does speak to this. This is upsetting. So where there's advancement also, it's hard to maintain that advancement, but I know we can. But it is hard to maintain it, just like it's hard to maintain for a mother or a father that has a child that's being very triggered or reactionary. But as a mother and father would in a family setting, hopefully they would maybe come down a little bit strict, maybe come down a little bit hard, to give a little bit of a reality check, to say there is nothing wrong on the outside that would cause you to act like this. There is nothing wrong on the outside of you that would cause you to be like this. You choose to be like this. You choose to cling on to whatever trigger is trickling down from the top. You're choosing to catch that and emotionally explode all over us for that. So however that may come about, we might see that there might be some kind of community force enabled today. There might be some kind of gathering of sensible mothers and fathers, so to speak, that have had enough and might go in and round these people up and embarrass them for their behavior, for their tantrums, whether they listen or not. All good. But as long as it's peaceful, as long as it's a measured response, then we are being good fathers, good mothers to people who, even if they're older than us, are obviously children, because they haven't got the capacity to hold their emotions, to not be overly emotional, exploding that over emotional self all over externally for us all to clean up. So there's that. In our individual lives, this Queen of Pentacles is manifesting in that she is a little bit unsure of her balance in the home. All of a sudden, her wants and needs have changed. She's very demanding, and she's trying to balance out familial commitments with work commitments, and work commitments are sort of coming on the top end of the spectrum for her. She's miserly. She's withholding of money. She's withholding of goods. She's withholding of freedom of movement within the family. She wants lots of support. She feels very insecure. There's a lot of emotional voids in there that she's trying to fill by either blaming everyone else outside of her, or reaching out to everyone else to lift her up, make her feel special. So we do speak to that she has less of the interest of the welfare of others. Now, it might be that you're experiencing this in your family, and it is the fact that she might be, this might be totally uncharacteristic, but she's absorbing something from the outside, and it is triggering something within this queen that's in reverse, this Queen of Pentacles. So she's then trying to re-establish a role, but she's trying to re-establish a role as something other than she was before. So it feels odd, it feels unfamiliar to the family unit. It might be that you have this type of queen in a friendship group, and the same things apply that I've just mentioned. Oh, she's acting out of a possibility of loss. She's acting out of a place of fear. So if you feel you can work with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, if she is in your life, either in a friendship group, a business group, or a familial group, you may feel the impulse to want to make her feel secure, do things for her that you didn't do before, include her in things that you didn't include her in before. It may be that you try your hardest to feed those voids, but like everything, nothing from the outside can feed those voids. It's all inner work. And this fear of loss that she has, whatever that might be, is for her to transmute. While this Queen of Pentacles is in reverse, she's very difficult to deal with. And once you start dealing with her, she'll demand more and more and more and more and more, and want to keep it, and want to keep it wrapped up tight. It's an energy that is very hard to deal with. It's an energy that only that queen, whoever she represents to you, if it is in your life, or you witness it in a friend's life, or a family member's life, or a business partner's life, it's advisory that you just step away. It's advisory that you do your own thing and see if she can do her own thing. See if she can do her own inner work. See if she can plant her feet and ground herself, and find out why these voids are here, why this fear of loss is here. Not blaming anything outside of self, but looking deep within. And it's very difficult when this is a family member, a friend, or a business partner, because there might be love involved, there might be respect involved, there might be just knowing, years of knowing involved. And so it is difficult to sort of walk away and do your own thing. But it's advised here. If that reflects in your life, that's what is advised. Of course, you do you, and but be aware that this energy will keep sucking in, that will keep and this energy on the collective stage, as I say, is a very it's a vampirous energy. It's going to want more and more and more. It's hungry for more. And so we see that with these children that we see running around the land, running around the pentacles, ruining them for no good reason, ruining things that fed them good things too. There were nice things to look at. There were statues, there were clean pavements, there was all sorts that they've ruined. Shop fronts looking pretty rather than smashed up. And it's because right now, if you see, we have this energy of this Queen of Reverse, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now, she is the Queen of the Earth, so there's upset, there's turmoil, and too many people looking outside of self to fill those voids that really need the inner work rather than any kind of outer work. Any kind of outer work is going to express itself in what we see in the headlines, what we hear, what we witness with our own eyes. This emotional explosion of albeit adult children, because the mother's absent. The mother is wanting that. Nobody knows their role right now. Everybody's trying to vie to do the right thing, or to look like they're doing the right thing, virtue signaling, when if they stopped and looked, they would realize that they're just doing the job that the top wants them to do. Maybe this top wants them to do and this top doesn't, but either way, it's trickling down and they're catching those things and they're doing it for all they're worth. The last card is the Two of Cups. So this speaks to balance, it speaks to friendship, it speaks to an affinity. So where there's advancement, there is also on the other side of this queen, there's advancement on one side, there's this queen maybe in the middle that is, so they see the layers of the different, there's positive layers. This speaks to having the kind of connection that, you know, you just feel at home with, a balanced, loving connection. A wholeness with someone, an appreciation of someone fully. Within self, it speaks to the divine feminine and the divine masculine being balanced. And the invitation for the universe is to do that right now. Bring those two into balance within self, whether you're male or female. This also helps you with any trigger points, any voids that you have. I can't stress this enough right now for us to advance and not fall into the trap that are being traps that are being put under our feet here, there, and everywhere, both out in the open and surreptitiously. It's to go within and speak to this. If you do have an obstacle between your advancement and this connection, then it's advisable that you take this obstacle out, because this obstacle will never stop trying to come between. This is a blocking energy, an obstacle energy. To take this out, then there's true advancement to wholeness, there's true advancement to friendship and affinity with somebody, a love relationship, a good business partnership. This in the middle, it blocks it, it breaks it up, it dilutes it, it rids it. So there's advancement really to a bottomless pit of wanting, of taking. So it's a complicated reading today, because there's balances necessary here, there, and everywhere. But the underpinning reading, underpinning card on the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups, but it's in reverse. It's on top of the Devil also. Now, I wouldn't usually go too into the deck, but it's interesting that it's the chains that bind, the things that guilt, the things that you feel you are bound to, that you can't get rid of, addictions maybe, debts that you feel you have. And this Ten of Cups is such a beautiful card in its upright, and would speak to this Two of Cups. But that block is there, so there the Ten of Cups is in reverse, and it speaks to nothing but sorrow, nothing but despair, nothing but loss. There's a feeling of loss here. And it's because whatever advancement you make with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse in the middle, there's not going to be any advancement but into this bottomless pit of wanting. But yes, it's a complicated read today, and it's very complicated for people who are in this situation. There's a very simplistic answer, in that this is your soul journey, this is your path, your experience, that you need to experience everything. And the things of the Two of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, if it was upright, are the things that we live this experience for, that we choose to be here for. They're the beautiful things, they're the honest things, the trustworthy things, the whole things. And so somehow, some way, on the collective stage, we need to get rid of this middle block for us that is blocking us from our true advancement when we want to come together, move together as a whole, against the things that are on the top that would seek to harm us, seek to control us, and seek to manipulate us. And in our personal lives, we need to take out that block, so that we can advance in our personal lives. Why? Because if you're really bothered about the collective stage, if you're really bothered about where this is going and the safety of all of us, if it goes the wrong way, the rights for all of us, if this goes the wrong way, then we have to reflect that in our private lives. If we are not living our true selves, our whole selves, our optimum selves, as much as we can, whenever we can, in our private lives, in our small nucleus type lives, we can't expect that anything but these layers of different energies will be, of divisive energies, will be fed into the conscious pool, and will ultimately create a reality that isn't so fun to live with, that reflects the reality that we're in now. We've been far too complacent in our personal lives and on the collective stage, but it all starts from within, and then the very closest to you after that, and then the very closest to you after that, and then the business, and then it trickles out and ladders up. So we need to bring that together. We need to be brave in our personal lives, to advance forward with the things that we're passionate about, the things that we want, the things that really fire us up and get us going. So that is the reading for the 13th of June 2020. I hope that helped. I hope that helps you discern something in your life if it resonated with you. Of course, if it didn't, leave it behind and move on, and hopefully catch up for the next one. If you would like a private reading with me, you can get in touch with any of the details below. Website is nearly done, yay! And you'll be able to get in touch with me through that too. Of course, the Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, all of those, you can also follow me there. Much love. Be balanced, be whole always. Mwah. Love you.